This is a programme that is shaped too by the bitter lessons of the past. Remember that this recession is the second time in a generation that Ireland has been brought to the brink of disaster by political recklessness, by mismanagement and by greed. It is Labour's commitment that never again will Ireland be brought so low, not by those entrusted with the privilege of governing, not by those entrusted with our financial institutions, never again. That is why at the centre of this programme is the most comprehensive agenda for reform ever put to the Irish people. Reform that begins with the banks, tearing up the blank cheque policy on banking that has undermined our very sovereignty, clearing out once and for all any board member of a state-guaranteed bank that presided over casino-style lending. Reform that will shine a light on the business of government. This government will enact a package of reforms that will extend the right to freedom of information, protect whistleblowers wherever they expose wrongdoing, and register political lobbyists for the first time. Reform that will take up where Labour left off in 1997, when it introduced for the first time limits on electoral spending. To break the link between big money and politics, allowable donations from private individuals will be drastically reduced and corporate donations banned outright. Reform that will put an end to the corporate cronyism that has seen Ireland's name dragged through the mire in capital cities around the world. This government will make good corporate governance the law, not an optional extra. It will be my personal mission, in my role as Minister for Foreign Affairs and Trade, that Ireland's international reputation be restored and our relationship with our European Union partners be repaired. That work has already begun, in my own case with a meeting of the EU foreign ministers last weekend, together with the Taoiseach's meeting of heads of state in Brussels and the meetings attended by the Minister for Finance, Minister Noonan. When the Irish people voted on the 25th of February, they voted not only to consign to history the old politics, the old warped priorities of the past, they voted for a strong and stable government, but also a balanced and a fair government. None of us here are under any illusions about the crisis facing our country. We have seen it firsthand in the devastation of a family hit by unemployment, where months of joblessness have turned into years. We have heard it in the voices of parents of young people forced to emigrate who fear that their grandchildren will be strangers. We have witnessed it in the boarded-up shops and businesses in every town, in every corner of Ireland. And none of us on this side of the House are under any illusions about the difficult path ahead, the hard choices that will have to be made. But from the very beginning of this economic crisis, Labour's commitment, a commitment that goes to the heart of who we are as a party, was that those choices would be fair. That commitment is reflected in this programme for government. Those most at risk of poverty will not be made to suffer further. Family incomes will be protected, but there will also be a strongly enforced minimum effective tax rate of 30% for high earners, so that even those with the best accountants have to pay a fair contribution. And this will be a government with no tolerance for tax exiles, with an à la carte approach to the duties and obligations of Irish citizenship. Fairness is about sharing the burden of Ireland's recovery in a way that we as neighbours, as colleagues, as a community can live with. But more than that, it is about the fabric of our society. It is about who we are as a nation. Nowhere is a nation's values more starkly laid out than in how it treats its elderly, its sick and its children. That is why this government, for the first time, has a full Minister for Children. This is a government that for the first time is committed to ending Ireland's two-tier health system, because it is simply wrong that a person's income and not their medical need determines when and where they are treated. This is a government that will make literacy a national cause, because no child should leave an Irish school unable to read and write. I make no apologies for the ambitions laid out in this programme for government. They are achievable, but more than that, they are essential, because a country is not an economy. A country is her people, and no bank should take precedence over a child's education or the good health of its citizens. The ambitions and objectives of this programme are achievable because it puts jobs first. I have made clear since 2008 that I believe that neither the fiscal crisis nor the banking crisis can be solved unless we get people back to work and our economy growing again. We can and we will work our way out of this crisis. We can and we will build up our economy again. But success for this government is not a return to the unsustainable casino economy of the past. Success will be an economy that is grounded in developing new products and new markets to sell them in. Success will be a workforce that is supported in gaining the skills that match the jobs of today and tomorrow, because those skills are a person's best insurance against long-term unemployment. Success will be an economy where Irish businesses creating Irish jobs are given the support that they need to grow, where our competitive advantage in food or tourism or education is sharpened by innovation, technology and new trade opportunities, and where new opportunities are actively sought out. For example, tomorrow in New York, as part of an official St. Patrick's Day visit, I will be attending a technology innovation event organised by Enterprise Ireland and Bank of America that will see 20 Irish high-tech companies meet with some of the leading technology companies in the United States. This will be the beginning of a new mandate for the Department of Foreign Affairs to actively foster Ireland's trade relations. Getting people back to work, changing our political system, a fair and balanced approach to fixing our public finances. That is why the Irish people elected the Labour Party and Fine Gael to do. And with the national effort, and with the goodwill and support of our fellow citizens, that is what we will do. We cannot do otherwise. The stakes are too high and our country's situation is too grave. I have no doubt that in the months and years to come, there will be occasions when it will be extremely difficult to be sitting on the government benches, that there will be some very difficult days, days that will test our resolve and that of our supporters. But I will say this both to our supporters and to our critics. The job of this government, and any government that has the privilege to serve, is to hand a country on to our children that is better than the way we found it. That will be our guiding principle. That will be the measure of our success, because this government cannot afford to fail.
Deputy Eamon Gilmore.